Hello everyone, this is Scramble from Emotionless Crypto Trading, and today we're going to run some technical analysis for Ethereum, discuss about the current meetings and events happening all around the world which are pretty much influencing the crypto space, right? So we've got the consensus 2018 going on right now, May 14 until May 16 for 3 days. It's gonna be a lot of business going on around the crypto space, and there's some other things happening within the market, some great adoptions at high level, extremely high level, and of course the technical analysis, which is another side of the crypto space which speaks to us. So you just have to see what it tells us, right? So currently the market cap is about $408 billion with 25 billion volume in the last 24 hours. And a BTC dominance that's sitting around 25 up to 28% on average over the last few days, which is definitely good for us, the ones holding alts, as well as for a stable market. It needs to fluctuate pretty slowly, not with big percentages. Going towards, we're gonna do technical analysis for Ethereum on 3-hour candlesticks, and then we're going to do another one on 30 minutes. But before we jump into that, I'd like to talk about the consensus, which is going on right now, a very important event of the crypto space and blockchain, right? So just a few statistics out there that would help you to understand what's going on and would give you an idea, right? So we've got the attendees, which is something you could consider checking right now. We've got 2015 500, 2016 1500, 17 2750, and then this year above 7,000 people. Just take a look at the increase in the attendees at this event by every single year. This time we have 3x increase in the attendees, which talks about the interest of the blockchain in the real world, right? So everyone was mentioning that in 2017 we're pretty adopted, we're at a good level of adoption. And what about right now at this time, 2018 compared to 2017? For those of you wondering about the prices and what a cycle could bring in, it's like a hurricane, you know. BTC could be easily up to 50,000 bucks without too many struggles, considering the large support which is going to happen once this takes off. Now, exactly by date and hour, nobody knows that, right? So do not expect anyone to tell you, and do not search for something like that, right? On the other side, something I did wanted to mention at the beginning of this video is we don't share investment advices nor give out any sort of financial stuff, right? So that's pretty clear. On the other side, let's talk about numbers related to consensus. 2015, we do have the attendees right here mentioned as in the other image, but we do have the prices for Bitcoin and for the alts. Considering that during consensus, the first week, 23% we had an increase in the Bitcoin price. 2016, 10%. 2017, 69% increase in the BTC price during the week when consensus was held, right? So after that, there's another important thing, which is post-consensus, 2 months after consensus. If you take a look at the prices, we had even up to 138% in 2017 increase in the prices of Bitcoin. Now, if you look at the alts, I do see a similar pattern. We did not have any sort of negative balance or statistics. So everything right here, you see 12 statistics, right? 6 for Bitcoin, 6 for alts, 12 statistics, all on plus, all positive, means growth. During consensus, 95%, 9%, and then 176. Post consensus, 2 months after that, we even had up to 552% for the alts, exactly at that time when they exploded for the first time as a bulk growth, right? So they were going pretty parabolically last year. I do remember everyone was making money and they were doing a bunch of money, right? Something very important to consider is all this question marks we have here representing an unknown as of right now, considering the numbers we might have. But the only pattern I'm seeing is that we were on plus for 12 different statistics in the last 3 years during this consensus period, right? So that's right there, proved by the history and by the charts. That's one thing I wanted to say. The other one, extremely big news out there. HSBC completes world's first blockchain trade finance deal, ships soybeans. UK-based banking giant HSBC has reportedly completed the world's first ever trade finance transaction powered by blockchain, which is insane, right? So this was the first step. That doesn't mean things will change from tomorrow. But what I wanted to mean here is another pattern, how media controls the market and shares news at specific times, promotes them heavily when they want to pump the market. They do share great news out there, come out with them and promote them exactly like they promote the bad news when they want to dump the market, right? So there's not just the idea that it happened right now and they need to announce it right now. That's fine, that's normal. The idea is how they're promoting and positioning themselves against and for all this news which they're looking to put out, considering the purpose and the agenda behind the market that needs to be driven in a specific way. Whether you believe this or not, a whale can very easily manipulate a specific price point as long as it's trading on hundreds of millions of dollars, specific alts, all at the same time using bots, right? So it's possible to do this. And if it's possible to manipulate the stock market, which is way higher than the crypto space, then you can imagine how the crypto space can be manipulated. And what I mean by that is how easily can be done this, right? So let's talk about the technical side. You can barely see the candlesticks here, but that's not the point. What do we want to see is an all-time high position here on the left side top, which is talking about 1,000, close to $200 per Ethereum compared to, oops, this is euros. I'm going to change this Ethereum to US dollar. It's going to be a lot better because we used to work on US dollars, right? So what I'm going to do right now is, I guess, I'm just going to clear this page up and do with you the technical analysis I wanted to share on live, basically. Another important point that I wanted to discuss is the current situation that's representing stability after the decrease we had over the last couple of days, right? So what I've done right now is I've managed to put out a couple of important price points for the Ethereum, which is paired up with the dollar, $1,429 around this price point. We do have activity as all-time high position for the Ethereum, which needs to be kept in mind. Now, currently, the market is pretty much stable around the $700s per token, considering we had this dump here, which was pretty much orchestrated before consensus 2018, since we were getting very close, kind of 12 to 24 hours before consensus, the market started to give some green lights, which is exactly what you see here. Exactly, that's specifically what's happening during this period of time. That's of course involving the media helping us to grow, as well as there is normal selling pressure, which is put out there out of nowhere, like it used to happen when they want to dump the market. A selling pressure appears out of nowhere, dumping the prices quite heavily, trying to orchestrate a crash. Whether we're either little or big, it doesn't matter. What matters is they're there active, pushing the market down the way in the way they're looking to do it, right? So another important detail which I wanted to make sure you're going to see it is all these blue lines that you're going to kind of face in the future, which is the 840 bucks, around 840. That's the line here representing a major resistance of our uptrend. We were into a uptrending channel until now, since our last little dump compared to the dump we had for about 3 months. This one is a little correction considering the market had a growth. If we considering the price point from here up to this point, it was 126% increase for the Ethereum in about 30 days, right? So a correction is always welcome, and it's exactly what happened. The idea behind a correction like this, in order to be pretty much bullish, is to close very near to your previous top, right? So that means from here, because this is where we have closed, we have to measure the difference up to our top, which is about 30%. In 6 days and 9 hours, this is the time frame, 30% decrease as a correction from 100. What was that? That was like 127% increase coming together with 30% correction. It's not a big deal having this parity between profit and loss ratio, right? So from now, we do have the ability to establish the $840 resistance, a breaking point, right? So that needs to be established over the next period. And the good thing behind this, we do have this consensus, and all the statistics and details we were able to collect from history. It should definitely help us to pump the market and at least get close to $840 level for the Ethereum in order to retest and measure our power behind this little support that at least we should face from the current stage of the market, because we are not in those all-time high positions, which I used to call as a very high support areas. That's the time everyone is buying into. And what I mean by everyone is, there used to be little fishes. I mean, you can't see whales buying into an all-time high position because that's the time they sell, right? So the support you're getting right now is not the same like you're getting in an all-time high position when the market is going pretty much way more aggressively. We have days with 20% increase in prices. We have days with 10-15% multiple days in a row going like that, which is the big growth that we're expecting. Now at this time, the support is not any sort of in a close position, speaking about a volume as it used to be in an all-time high. Because this year, if we go in a pumping stage, then we're going to cross more than $100 billion volume in 24 hours, right? So $100 billion volume in 24 hours can be crossed in 2018 once we go pump, right? So here's a couple of things, just two things, very simple and very clear. We do have support at 640 and resistance at 840. The battle is just between these two prices right now, so we're kind of in the middle, expecting, because of consensus and other details, that the market is going to offer us some more bullish patterns until touching the resistance. And then eventually, if we break out of that, we're going to face other difficulties, which are clearly represented around the $1,000 area, right? So we do have to be aware that we might have chances from 840 to grow another 17% up to the $1,000 area for the Ethereum, as well as you do have support at 640, but you have another one which is extremely powerful at 560, right? So in that specific case scenario, if we would have a powerful selling pressure put out, out of nowhere without any reasons by the whales which are doing this. Now, for those of you which are trading actively, specifically running day trading, you might have seen that for some specific alts which are not having volume, talking about tens of billions or a billion or hundreds of millions a day, right? We talk about volumes of $1-2 million a day. You look at those alts and you see when Bitcoin dumps, you will see for your alts that a large volume and orders will be filled out in matter of a couple of seconds automatically by the bots used basically by the exchange or by the whales, depends, because even the exchangers are kind of balancing the prices between them, not allowing the escapes for you to speculate between the exchanges, right? So they do that for you, profiting, of course, if there's something to profit out of that. Now, that's pretty much all about today's video presentation. I just wanted to have a short idea of the current market. Just a couple of lines, nothing advanced, nothing special here. I'm sure you guys are able to do this even for yourself, but the idea is to make sure we're aware what's the current stage of the market and what is the pattern around consensus which is happening since 2015, but at this time 2018 is going to be very, very interesting. There is another pattern here that could appear. So we had the first year 2015 with higher increases, while the next one was medium and then again high. So if the pattern continues, there could be another medium percentage increase. The same thing happens for the alts. High increase, medium, high, medium. Possibility. Nobody says that we're giving out financial advices, we don't predict or any other stuff, similar stuff like that. This could be possible patterns that could appear. I'm not saying that we could not have in 2 months period 1000% for the alts, because there is nobody telling you or guaranteeing you that those things are not going to happen for sure, right? So you might see people talking in media saying Bitcoin is going to go rubbish, it's just trash, gonna go down to $1, or Bitcoin is 1 million by the end of the year. Depends. These guys are claiming in order to build their visitors, their traffic, and their audience. That's all about behind those claimings. There is no data saying that. There's nothing around the technical side mentioning any out of those. Right, so thank you so much. Feel free to subscribe if you have enjoyed this video presentation. I'm trying to do videos about technical analysis, things around the crypto space, and of course have my ICO spreadsheet, which is free to download, where we rate ICOs. Right there, the first link in the description area gives you access to the spreadsheet. Good to know. Thank you so much. Feel free to share your idea in the comments area. It's freedom. Talk whatever you believe about. Like, dislike, whatever you think you should do. Thank you once again, and talk to you soon.